The town of Milford, Massachusetts, turned out in spontaneous protest when Donald Trump's ICE agents arrested high school senior Marcelo Gomez de la Silva on the way to volleyball practice. A Massachusetts judge ordered his release, and he was brought to the State of the Union address last night by his congressman, Democrat Seth Moulton. But Congressman Moulton's chief of staff, Nisha Suarez, noticed this tweet from the Department of Homeland Security during the State of the Union address. Representative Moulton plans to bring illegal alien Marcelo Gomez da Silva. Gomez da Silva is an illegal alien who has no right to be in our nation. We are committed to enforcing the law and fighting for the arrest, detention, and removal of aliens like him. The Boston Globe reports Gomez was escorted out of the chamber by Moulton's chief of staff, Nisha Suarez. Suarez, who drove Gomez to Washington, was concerned about the heavy law enforcement presence while the teen was alone in the House gallery without his phone. Gomez watched the rest of the speech in Moulton's office. Democrats on the Homeland Security Committee tweeted this: Marcelo is a teenager who's lived in the United States since he was 7. He's a volleyball standout and beloved by his community. Teens like Marcelo are a threat to no one, and treating him like one is disgraceful. Joining us now is Democratic Congressman Seth Moulton of Massachusetts. He's a member of the House Armed Services Committee. Congressman Moulton, thank you very much for joining us tonight. I have been following this from the day that first headline broke about this in the Boston Globe, and to see how it turned last night is just stunning. This is the Trump Homeland Security Department, where they said they just wanted to get the criminals and the murderers. They wanted to get all the bad guys. But they are saying during the State of the Union that they are going after, quote, aliens like him. This is who they are labeling the threat.
It's unbelievable. But this is why Marcelo came, because he wanted to put a human face to ICE, this administration, Trump terrorizing blue cities across the country. Because we all know Marcelo because of his tragic immigration story, where he was thrown in a detention facility for days on end, sleeping on a concrete floor, not even given a Bible when he asked. And yet throughout that time, he insisted on helping others, more focused on translating for other detainees, helping them contact their families than even his own safety. He wanted to come here and confront not just Donald Trump at the State of the Union, but his MAGA Republican enablers, who are my colleagues here in the House of Representatives. And he did that. He put a human face on this immigration tragedy. And what I think so many colleagues saw is not just an immigrant, but a great American, a great young American, an amazing patriot, someone whose courage we should all emulate in these challenging times.
Talk about that. There's a photograph, I think we can get it back up. We just had it up, that the Globe captured of you introducing him to one of those MAGA Republicans who's wearing a Donald Trump necktie on the way to the State of the Union address.
That's right. And Marcelo just told his story. And after that, Marcelo said to me, you know, it was kind of amazing. I thought he might yell at me or say terrible things, and he actually seemed to respect me. Because you can't help but respect his humanity. You can't help but respect his patriotism. What a great young American he is. And that's what these MAGA Republicans who are just enabling this policy, even though many of them we know behind the scenes totally disagree with it, think that it's inhumane, un-American. Remember that they had ancestors who came here to the United States as immigrants themselves. It puts that human face on it that's just hard to deny.
Yeah, and the Globe reports that Republican House member told Marcelo, well, you're just exactly who, we want to see succeed here. But during the speech, Donald Trump's Department of Homeland Security is basically tweeting directly at him as someone they want to arrest.
And look, Marcelo sees that as a badge of honor, and I'm so proud of him for seeing it that way. He didn't want to leave, but of course, we're concerned about his safety because you just can't trust this administration at all, and so that's why we took him back to my office. But Marcelo is someone who's just not going to back down. He wants to stand up and fight. He's not going to be intimidated by Kristi Noem or the Department of Homeland Security, by Donald Trump and his ICE agents who are acting like the Gestapo across America. He is representing so many immigrants who are a part of our communities, leaders in our communities often. And he's told me time and again, he said, Seth, I'm not backing down. I'm going to keep fighting.
What is the status of his case now? Is he safely here, or is that Department of Homeland Security threat serious? Could they snatch him tomorrow?
So technically, they couldn't snatch him. And I mean, the truth of the matter is we actually cleared this visit with the immigration authorities. I kind of hate saying that because I don't want to take anything away from his courage and what he's doing. But we conferred with his lawyer when we got back to the office, and she reassured us that they really don't have any grounds to detain him again. His case is working through the system. He's been checking in regularly with his immigration authorities and even got permission to come here. But nonetheless, I mean, look, you just can't trust this administration to follow the law. We all know that now. And so that's why, out of an abundance of caution, we brought him back to my office a bit early.
Congressman Seth Moulton, thank you for bringing Marcelo. Thank you for bringing that story to us tonight. Thanks for joining us.